What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Audio Amigos podcast. I'm LunchMoney Lewis. To the right of me is Andrew Bolooki. To the left of me is JMIKE, Jeremy Coleman, and we are the Audio Amigos.
Hey, yes, sir.
Can I get a round of applause? Where's the soundboard? We need a round of applause.
Of course. You can get a round of applause?
A round of applause. Welcome to episode 4 of the Audio Amigos podcast. Yes, we're up to episode 4. I'm proud of us.
You did it.
A lot of consistency going on here. Shout out to all the people that's been showing us love. Everyone who's been reaching out to us. We need more gear. Any companies want to give us free shit. Bolooki, aren't you sponsored by some people?
Quite a few.
Go on, list them off, Bolooki. We need to show them love.
I mean, Waves Audio. Love
Shout out to Waves. Round of applause for Waves.
Yeah, they get a round of applause.
Love y'all. Avid, I guess.
Shout out to Avid. Shit. Antares. Shout out to Telepathic Instruments.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the Orchard. I came with 80 hooks to this shit. All I gotta do is play some chords. Blue, you got the orange case to your shit?
See, I'm not cool enough yet. I'm gonna buy one.
Mike, show yours, Mike.
I don't have one.
Right. You don't have one.
I gotta buy one.
Shout out to Telepathic Instruments, though. Shout out to Charles. He reached out to me and showed me some love, so I appreciate it, and all the people that support us. Yeah, we got some good topics today, man. How was your day? I like to start to see how my brothers are doing. Blue, how's your day going?
Good. I finally caught up in my sleep after working on the same song for 12 hours straight yesterday.
12 hours.
Nothing but good feedback, though.
Amazing. Put that 12 hours in.
Worth it. Absolutely.
I just told you we're off the pod. We were talking, and I was telling you how I had to vocal produce. I had to vocal produce 6 songs in 3 days, and that shit was, it's something to dial. When you got to dial like that, 6 days, 2 songs a day. Shout out to the artist though. Shout out to Vella. She did her thing.
Salute.
It was bro. After that, you don't even want to talk to nobody. You're fucking spent. Mike, how was your day?
My day been good. I've been spending this week because we lost 2 huge musical titans this week. 2 creative geniuses, 2 people who changed the fabric of music. One of them was James Anthony Carmichael. He the producer behind Hello, All Night Long, some of the most timeless records in like black music. 2-time producer of the year nominee, won it in 1984. And I'm like shocked that no like major outlets are like talking about this guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He did I'll Be There for the Jackson 5, arranged it. He shaped like the modern sound of what pop and R&B could be with Easy and Brick House and 3 Times a Lady and Hello and All Night Long. And like I remember like when Lionel Richie was talking about how Hello came to be, James was walking into his house and I guess he couldn't find him. And then Lionel popped out of nowhere and was like, "Hello, is it me you're looking for?" And then James Carmichael knew what that was. He was like, "That's the song. That's the song. Yeah. Go write it." And Lionel was like, "No, I ain't gonna write it." And then he started going at it. "Hello, is it me you're looking for?" And it ended up being what it was. And that's just like a power to a producer that like when you are tapped in and you know that a common phrase that everyone uses can be like a big global record like that. And then the other person we lost this week, God show love, is Sonny Rollins, one of the greatest, most influential jazz musician, saxophone player. They call him Saxophone Colossus. If you look, it was this monumental picture with all the great jazz musicians taken in Harlem. He was in that, the last living member of that. It was like Dizzy Gillespie in there, Count Basie, and all them folks was in there, and he was the last living member of that.
He played with Miles too, Miles and
everybody. He was definitely when that tenor sax, it was no one who kind of improvised, and he was a towering figure in American music history. So rest in peace. Thank y'all for y'all service to those 2 wonderful talented brothers.
Contributions and everything.
Yeah.
And they, Sonny lived a long life too. What was he like? 95.
Yeah,
man. And well, James lived to.
I think he was in his 90s too.
So God bless those guys.
84.
Your job was well done, and we thank you. Give a round of applause for
yes.
Those 2 legends. Well, on that note, let's say the greatest solo hit makers ever. Who is the greatest producer, songwriter of all time? So we talking 100%ers.
We're talking
people that write the song, produce the track, do the whole thing. That's a
Honestly,
question.
man, 100% is a little subjective too on what you ask people what 100% actually is, because there's a true 100% as in I sat alone with this laptop or whatever.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking leave them in the
I
studio.
produced a WAV file that is now
Yeah.
Leave them in the studio with just them, and they leaving with a record in history. Who
Of
do you
all
trust the
time?
most? Yeah.
That is a because there's so many great producers and orchestrators and things like that who don't necessarily write, and then there's
Yeah.
writers that have written amazing songs that don't necessarily create music as chords and play instruments, solely writers. Man, it's hard for me to think way back because there's some people I have to do my.
You got Prince's, baby faces, people
Well,
like
you
that.
got Prince, you got Babyface, you got Stevie,
Yeah.
which is three probably. I mean, Babyface did a lot of those records with L.A., but he definitely did a lot of records on his own.
What about Jermaine Dupri?
Jermaine Dupri, that's what I was
yeah.
about. I mean,
You
Jermaine
got
from
a lot
my
of people
generation,
say-
Jermaine is my goat.
That's somebody I
Okay.
can say from no one else in the studio to
Like, yeah, no, I mean,
distributable
100%.
music.
I think The Dream has had records where
Yeah.
he's done
Yeah.
most of the work also. But for
So
me,
who's y'all number one?
I mean, I'm
number
gonna
one,
say
I'll
for
mine.
the sake of my modern, besides like of course the Prince and Stevie, those guys, but I would say Jermaine. For me,
Okay.
Jermaine wrote some like staple
In every genre too.
in every genre, and he turned a lot of black artists into pop stars. You know what I mean? I mean, his Mariah work, his Usher work, all of those things. Shout
Chris
to his
Cross.
co-producers.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Cross, Jump.
Yeah,
The man produced
come
and
on.
wrote Jump. Dolo.
on.
You know
Number
what I
one
mean?
rap
Like,
records, number one R&B
yeah.
records.
nah, I would say Jermaine. I'm gonna leave it at Jermaine for me.
Were you talking producers that also them producing for other artists or them producing themselves? Or it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They could be solo artists who produce themselves, or we're just talking like they can be in the studio by themselves. They don't need a bunch of writers, and they can leave with a hit. Just them.
I'm going Kevin Parker from Tame Impala.
That's a big one.
Wow,
That
wow.
is a big one. Speaking
That's-
of with
I
the
don't know
orchid
how many
right in front of
people out
us.
here have been
Whoa.
trying to chase that sound, and you can tell he's the product of not like following rules, and he was just getting it done. But there is a magic about just getting it done by yourself, and not other people not just fucking up your flow. And then kudos to him that if you're doing something by yourself, you need to know when to stop too, and that's tough because we all have unfinished music, that we started, and then you just like don't know when it's done. But he picked a good time point, to like exit the creative process and just knock it out. But there's also, I was just mixing a song myself that I produced and recorded. There's something about when you're a producer, so the producer hat's first or the artist hat's first, right? But when you're that person in every part of the process, it streamlines the shit out of it. And also, like, I don't know, it's just the way you engineer. You're not engineering for anybody. You weren't hired to do it. You're doing it for yourself. The way you mix,
yourself.
you're doing it for yourself. Literally, like, yeah, and the way you're writing it, like, you're the one that's going to be singing it, so you did it for yourself. And there's a whole, that's different than a Jermaine Dupri who's doing it literally for somebody else, I'm going with Kevin Parker from Tame Impala because
That's a good one.
he not only gave psychedelic rock this crazy revival that so many people have, like, you think of Coachella now, and I think like he's the ideal artist for something like that, something where people
Right.
go listen and enjoy themselves. When you listen to his lyrics too, you can tell he wasn't writing it for anybody else, because I can't understand what the fuck he's saying half the time. It's so washed out, but it's just, there's a vibe to it, and there's something about when you're insularly like recording, writing, and producing for yourself. He just had that magic formula that when he was his bar where he set for himself, and when he was done working on it and actually put it out, it resonated with everybody. So that's a one-man show that hit a global audience, which is sick.
Like a whole new person. That Tame Impala.
So many people have been chasing that sound since that came out. Been
What's
chasing
that first album? What was that first Tame Impala album called?
Lonerism, I think.
Was it Lonerism with the
And Currents was after that, I believe.
Was Currents
Currents is the one with the little like orb looking thing with the waviness.
Yeah, Currents is the one.
He
That's
just
what
dropped a mix by mix with the Masters, breaking down that session, which is amazing.
The less I know, the better. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kevin Parker.
For me, of course, I am. Hey, it's messed up how many of the answers gonna probably be the same for me. It's this guy. It's Stevie for me. Because
every answer is Stevie Wonder for Mikey. You can't think
I
of
know
any other human being.
I can't put anyone above him, and I will never be on record saying anyone's better than him. In the studio, Fate of the Universe on the line, especially in the 70s. Who could lead that studio with just him by himself, also being blind, leaving with a hit? It's my dog Stevie, man. And it's like we're at a time now where I think has creativity been too automated, where art is losing its efficiency. Like we got those highly developed artists like the Prince, like the Stevies, like the Baby Faces, where it was more like artistic autonomy. Nowadays, we doing writing camps, we got label conferences, we got all this data, and labels got market research. And
I mean, Motown was doing that though.
Yeah,
Motown were doing consensus reports at the label. Motown
that was definitely
shaped what the music industry is now for hits. Everybody got that from Motown. You know, the whole Berry Gordy thing? Would you buy this burger or this song? You know what I mean?
Of course, because you know him and Smokey used to work at the assembly line, so they looked at it like that. Like, yo, we put all these people together, all these parts of the belt, and we do it like that, and we polish it, and we gonna turn this black music into more palatable. And it's like,
what a conveyor belt that was.
I know.
He was cranking out hits.
He just so happened, you know. And it's like
number ones.
It's like, but do you think the more that the suits or the corporate get involved these days, is less room for that independent visionary nowadays? They have to get this other songwriter. All the songs now got 20 writers, as we know. We've been a part of 15 writers.
It became like a poacher thing for the publishers, I feel like, to add more people to songs, because it's a publisher thing. And it has trained a lot of songwriters. I mean, we've gotten back to, in the last couple of years, a lot of singer-songwriter. I mean, Ed Sheeran's an amazing singer-songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys who can sit down with a guitar. I mean, Ed is probably top of the,
John Mayer.
John Mayer, Bruno. There's the few rare, even the Dream, Neo. Guys that are double threats, that can write the song for another person and write the song. I always kind of like credited, not to pat myself on the back, but I'm like a singer, songwriter, myself, write for myself, write for other people. I've written songs alone. I've written a lot of, even the newest, the Siku record, Dangerous Lover, I wrote by myself. There's a different feeling.
That's rare these days.
No, it's very rare. But you can hear that. I feel like when I listen to that record, I can, the thing when you write there's a lot of different stories when you make music with a lot of writers. I get like when we're working on production, I might have some chords, I might have some drums. I'll be like, Luke, you got some guitar chord. Mikey might have some, because, in a band atmosphere. But when you're writing a song,
the needs to be.
Yeah, the story needs to be aligned, and sometimes when you got too many, I don't know if 4 people can write a book. You know what I mean? You need one person to sit down and carry the story through. And you could kind of tell in certain songs when there's, and I understand it in more of the pop sensibility, music, it's different because it's more about the phonetic and the word and the bounce and the story and that type of thing. But when you're writing a certain kind of thing, sometimes it got to be you and God. I just feel like it just got to be you, the track,
and
or
it's
your
like
idea.
It's like that with beats sometimes too.
You got to be subservient to the best point of view in the room. So if it's somebody's story but they don't know how to articulate it and other people are helping you articulate, that's fine. But I still feel like it's always more of a home run if you can start it off of one person's actual experience.
100%.
Yes.
100%. Same thing. I agree with you with tracks. It's definitely with beats too. You could tell, like, somebody sitting down and just making one of them things. You know what I mean? Like
sometimes it's your call. Sometimes that idea hits you like a ton of bricks, and it's like burning inside you. It's got to be you. It can't be nobody else coming there. And even like when you're working, but sometimes when you work and collab with another producer, and then they get hit with that, and you just happen to be in the room, you let them cook. Like, like when it's there, you can tell when it's somebody, they got the Super Mario star on, and you just chill.
Oh yeah, so everybody got to know how to chill. The
Yeah.
same thing with songwriting. If I write with people and I see that they on today, especially if I'm in like a group setting of writing, I'd be like, oh, this person, they cooking today. Let me sit back and just add a little
Mm.
thought here and there. I'm gonna let them run with the
It's
ball. You know
something
what I
I think
mean?
you got to learn though over time, because you have to learn how to let other people cook, but then also, you know, assist where you need to assist, but then just not be, insecure about if somebody else is just they're on a roll. It's
You
good
gotta
for
let
you,
them
buddy.
cook.
Right.
Let them
Because
Yeah,
some
bro, I'm
people
something
right.
just
else.
say, don't just add a snare to add the snare. Don't just say, what do you think of this lyric to say it? Like, add some
No, you
value or
gotta,
just
yeah,
chill.
because it's not about you. That's when people are in you're about you at that moment. You're not about the
Right.
song. You just want to
Right.
be a part and you want to feel like you're involved. And it's like it ain't about that. To me, it's
Hon-
about the song.
Honestly, bro, that's where wearing multiple hats and multiple different situation comes in big time, because then as soon as somebody else or two people are cooking in one direction, just put on a different hat and be like the listener, be the consumer, be the
Yeah.
producer, be the engineer, be the whatever it might be. Fucking ask anybody if they need something, like just help, like support the
Yeah, you
energy
gotta
in the room.
100%. Sometimes you gotta be fucking supportive, man. Don't be a dickhead. Just make sure the song.
Pretty
We
much.
all want the song to be good. Well, that takes us to, since we're talking about songs and greatness and stories. Let's take it to shout out to Michael Jackson. I haven't seen the Michael Jackson movie yet. Have y'all seen it?
Of
I
course
just
I've
watched it,
seen
yeah.
it.
The fact that somebody could do this is the power of MJ. You're doing what is it, a biopic in 2026 of a guy
Breaking
who
all the
can't,
records.
yeah, breaking records. I mean, he's just from another planet. And we were asking this is a question. um would Michael Jackson be Michael Jackson today? Would Michael Jackson survive today? And would Michael Jackson become Michael Jackson in 2026? Mike, I'll let you start with this one. You
I
give
don't
us what you
I,
think.
I don't think I don't think we'll ever have another superstar that reaches that many people in that different ways ever again. Like, I don't think Michael would have developed under like today's modern conditions. I don't think people have the patience. I don't think the current industry model would allow, because if Michael ain't go viral, if Michael ain't monetized instantly, if he's not engaging doing content, I don't know if they would have been able to. I, it's tough. It's tough to put anyone like to,
Yeah.
because I'm looking at now who the prospects are to be the next Michael, and we have none. And like
I
Michael sold
mean,
100 million albums with
I mean,
Thriller.
yeah. What you think, Blue? I'll give
Uh,
my
I
first.
mean, MJ, there was a different way you spread lore about artists at that time because there was no social media. So it's stories, music videos, sales, the radio. Everybody comes up with their own interpretation about what's going on, and it just makes you bigger and bigger and bigger because nobody really knows. That's why these biopics they're still interesting today, because you're learning a lot about what you were obsessed about, and that doesn't always match the story you had in your head. But now, um, it's just hard to have a mystique like that because people demand information about everything you do, down to
Mm,
them actually reading the credits and giving a fuck about who wrote what, when like it's
mm,
just it's like looking up the corporate board of a company or something. Like, who gives a shit? Do you like the product or not? But people,
yeah.
they call it
Well,
out.
back then, the only people who read credits was like us. Like, yeah, people love
Yeah.
music and we nerded out. Now everyone's kind of like into
But
that mode.
what's even good about reading credits as a consumer though? Like, why did all that's going to do is kind of soil a little bit about like, oh, you had this amazing song or whatever and you fell in love with it, and then you find out that it took 18 people to make it. What's the point of knowing that? Like,
Yeah, that's
Right.
not a. The funny thing is, I think most music consumers don't read credits. I think it's just like internet banter with hip hop and
yeah,
people.
true.
But like the average listener, I really don't think. Because when I talk to people about music, that they still don't know shit. They don't know anything about.
Mm,
I don't know, bro. I think Michael Jackson would be Michael Jackson today for some reason.
mm.
I just feel like
He was that
Michael.
101.
There's something about rare specimen people, right? And I think about if I saw somebody as young as Michael Jackson today come out and sing the way Michael Jackson, because the world got introduced to Michael as a child. That was the big
Yes.
lore
Yeah.
too. There was other young artists. I mean, there was Frankie Lyman and different people who came out as children too. But when Mike hit what would be the algorithm of that day, they were like, "Who is this little boy
He was better than everybody
He
as
was
a young
singing
clearly.
on key like this, carrying these songs like a grown ass man with
Yes,
emotion. When you hear "I'll
yes.
Be There"
Yeah.
and you hear "Couldn't wait too long," and you hear Michael,
Hmm.
you're like, "How? I want to be where he was singing with so much conviction, so young. It was like he was here before or something." So I feel like if I saw a kid on TikTok singing with that
Yeah,
level of conviction and dancing with his brothers on that level, I would be like, man, this motherfucker go viral in one day. Cause it's like
yeah.
there's that is un that's like you that's like unbelievable talent. That's like talent that you can't even that's the why Michael's still talked about now
Yeah.
and we watch because there's nobody in the history of music that has made an impact from a child to when he grew as an artist and perfected himself and got better. And then he was like, oh, I wrote down about how I'm gonna go solo, how I'm gonna I'm gonna change up how I look, how I dress, how I dance. He envisioned all of these things. So I just feel like to me, Michael Jackson is like a one of one because
Hmm.
like the other day I was saying, right? There's like artists that like we're in the hit record business, right? So we think about hit records. Like anybody can have a hit song. Like people have had hit songs
Anybody.
in history. And once
Yeah.
in our business as writers and producers, hits is like the thing because that's what makes us money. It's
Sit
I saw Tricky saying that the other day. It's the only asset in the music industry. It's true. It's a hits are the
back.
asset. It's the thing that makes money. It makes companies money. It makes us money. It makes everything money. You got hits, you're making money. But then there was the people that connected with human beings where it wasn't like about the song. Because look, we can make a hit record tomorrow, but somebody might eventually someone's gonna like another song more than your song eventually. It's
Right,
just the
right.
way hits operate. Like you make a hit and then somebody new makes another hit. And then they're like, oh, this is the new song. We love this song. You know what I mean? Like before Ed Sheeran, there was a bunch of people making hits, and then he came along and made hits, and Bruno makes hits, and hits just come and go. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? But artists that resonate with human beings, they don't come around all the time. Like people who genuinely hit the spirit and the human. And that's what made Michael big to me. Mike like encompassed both. Like it was like
Yeah.
he had the hits, but he had that human, the way he could make
Yes.
people laugh and
Even
cry and sing and faint. And it was just,
people
it
were
was
fainting, yo,
yeah,
at
it's
his
like he was
shows.
like a
Even
fucking rare dinosaur or some shit,
my
like a
little
Triceratops or
nephews,
some shit. Like,
my nephews, they all every child I know still has Michael Jackson faces. My brother had one, all his kids had one, all my little
I'm
nephews had
saying.
one. So it's like, but they want to dress like Mike and dance like Mike. So I've never seen nothing like that. He
See,
is
that's
that
what I'm saying. It ain't
rare.
even only about his songs. It's
Right,
the glove. It's the jacket.
right.
It's the. That's why I say
The
like,
spectacle.
since we're gonna do like we always say, since we're here, our part of our shit. The since we're here, there's been a lot of conversation about Drake and Michael with the new album, and
Right.
uh, this is no disrespect to anybody, but we can't compare anybody to Michael Jackson.
Absolutely not.
Because the thing is it's not that Drake isn't great. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not great. It's the fact that how many boxes Mike checked. And everyone has their own greatness. Everyone
Hmm.
has their Andre 3000 has his greatness, Outkast has their great, Jay-Z has his own form of greatness and Madonna and everyone has their form of greatness. Nas, Kendrick, even Mos Def have their own greatness. However they appeal as artists. But the thing with Michael Jackson though is like he checked every box of greatness. His interviews were great. His stage performance was great. The way he dressed, his dance moves were revolutionary.
His
I mean,
production,
his
everything he
production,
did
everything. It's rare that
changed
there's
time.
yeah, it's because we could look at numbers in this day and age. To me, it could be anything. Like anybody could
Yeah.
fucking. It's just like we don't know what's true. We have to be
A
honest with
hundred
ourselves.
million physical for my dog
Yeah,
Mike on
yeah,
one
it's
album.
physical. Yeah, it's 100 million people bought that album, and it's not only. It's just Michael's. That's what I'm saying. Like there's some people that check certain boxes. Some people are great, musicians. Some people are great songwriters. Some people's songs are better than their voices. Like, even like, look, we love Tom Petty, but was Tom Petty like, he's going to blow you away when he sings? Like, Tom was obviously way better of a songwriter than he was a singer. Tom Petty's songs are amazing. But like, I love Tom's voice where it's like, you know what I'm saying? But Mike He could write. I mean, Mike wrote a lot. He came in with a lot of them songs.
On his tape
Billie
recorder.
Jean
Yeah,
on his
a lot.
tape recorder, like making the rhythm of the drums and singing. Like, nah, it's like he's a rare alien. You know what I mean? He's an alien. He's just an alien with the shit. And I think niggas need to relax for comparing anybody, any human being to Michael Jackson. Is
We can't.
insanity.
It doesn't exist.
It
He
doesn't
was
exist.
that.
So to answer our question, no, go ahead, Mike. My bad.
Nah, answer it. Yep.
No, to answer our question, I personally think, I mean, maybe I'm disagreeing with my fellow amigos here.
Is what it is.
I think that Mike would, if Michael Jackson, if that nappy-headed, afroed black boy with his brothers sang on TikTok with Jermaine and Tito and them boys right now, I think it would go viral, and I think it would be another phenomenon. He would be a phenomenon. You know what I mean?
That's providing that we had never seen something like that before.
Never.
Right.
Never.
That was part of why he launched into the stratosphere and could do anything he wanted to, is because people hadn't seen something like, bro, like you were talking about him as a kid in a recording studio. Like, I don't know if you guys ever worked with a kid before.
I have,
studio.
yeah.
So I've had to vocal produce a 6-year-old before. Getting
Wow.
them to sit still it took all day.
They didn't have
Them
Joe
to
Jackson.
repeat something. Well, yeah, they didn't have the.
They didn't have Joe through that mirror looking at them kids like, y'all know what y'all here for.
But it's such a mature thing to do, to be in that
100%.
setting.
100%.
To also, like you were saying, convey the emotions of an adult as through a child's voice is something you've never heard before. Because like you're like, damn, I can really relate to this 5-year-old right now. Like, what? That's not a thing.
100%. There was
But
grown
you've never
people.
heard something like that before. It's crazy.
Nah, it resonated.
Never.
It stopped time. I think his voice would probably stop time. His voice would definitely
His
stop
voice
time
would
today.
stop time.
You
It would
looking at
be-
me like, yo, what is that? They'd be throwing so much money at Mike if they saw him singing on the
There
internet.
was nothing before that. That's the thing.
Right.
When Michael came, there was nothing. Of course, there was James Brown and the people who ushered in that. But you've never seen that before. You know what I mean? And then the
Ever.
way Mike's career transformed out of the group with his brothers to turning into Michael Jackson, the videos, you never seen that. There was
He was a
that
visionary.
changed the course of what a pop star was. That's when the fandom came. Like I don't even think there was that level of fandom. Correct me if I'm wrong, in pop music where people were like, you had the Beatles. You really had the Beatles, and you had Michael Jackson, to tell the truth. As far as people fainting and lining up, Beatles were like the first not first boy band, but I mean, we would consider like pop boy band that set, the white boys from London who, you know what I mean? Like the level we could say on a One Direction level of their time, you know what I mean? Like they were the ones who ushered in that British boy band, because before Paul and John and them got more introspective, they were covering Black American music from America. They was doing Twist and Shout. Yeah, they were a cover band, like doing songs that they grew up and listening to, and then they transformed into the Let It Be's and those type of records and all those type of things. But I would say Michael Jackson and the Beatles were very big on the fanfare, the people outside the hotel with the fucking, what I mean? Like Mike had fucking 50,000, 100,000 people outside his hotel just to see a glimpse of a nigga hand, just for a nigga to go like this and go, and niggas just like falling the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, there would be no Ushers, no Justin Timberlakes, no Justin Biebers, none of that shit would exist. You know what I mean? They would never.
All from the Michael tree.
All from the
His
Michael.
tree is insane.
It's insane. Let's not even.
Do you guys think Mike? There's one last thing. Do you think his stardom and everything, the way that the gas hit the fire with him, over a gradual, like, it wasn't like a slow rise, but he did it through multiple eras of music technology too, and he was very much on the forefront of things, which 100%. I think is important because we've kind of gotten to a point now where music technology, besides the AI combo, hasn't really developed. In fact, it's going backwards. People they stopped innovating, and now they're innovating how you reissue things, But Mike was here for vinyl when tapes came out and when CDs came out, and they were the craze of distributing music, and it just got easier and cheaper to distribute music, all the way leading up to streaming. But he had the crazy amount of records sold because also he spanned multiple eras of technology, which is crazy.
Yeah, he
to
grew
say
up with
he
his
did that.
fans.
Like, you know, comparing him to Drake, Drake sold CDs and then he's now streaming, and streaming, we know how incredibly manipulated it is. It's not, you know, there's only so much manipulation you can do if,
And
besides
look,
buying pallets of records or something like that.
yeah, no, and we're not saying, you know, Drake doesn't have hundreds of millions and billions of streams. Obviously, he's a
Mhm.
humongous artist. But it's much more with Michael Jackson than sales also. There's a
Right.
spiritual connection people have to Michael Jackson. You know
Right.
what I mean? That I'm not saying that people don't have the people. Look, I always say you're never famous or a legend until people want to dress like you and look like you for Halloween, and they dress like you on. You've made an effect on people if people are walking around on Halloween trying to look like you. You know what I mean? So if you've had that effect on people, obviously you've reached a point of stardom where people are literally trying to look like you and shit like that. And Mike is one of the people who created that.
Mm-hmm.
He was one
Yes.
of the first. Yeah, Michael. You got people make livings off of being Michael Jackson impersonators.
Impersonators. Yeah.
You can get a
Different.
job from dancing and looking like a nigga on Hollywood Boulevard, and people will tip your cup for doing the best Michael you can do.
You can do
Not
that
something
moonwalk,
we got
legendary dance move.
We
Yeah,
don't get
yeah.
off
We can talk
Michael,
about Mike the whole
we
episode.
gonna
What's
take
next?
on Michael all day, man. But shout out and rest in
Yeah.
peace to legend Michael
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
You know, he definitely we're a lot of us are here because of people like him.
Great person, great human being. Always show my pops
Speaking of
love.
that,
Salute.
speaking of Michael Jackson, Mike sang a hook for Berry Gordy's son. You remember? I'm gonna feel
Somebody's
like
watching me.
somebody's watching me. What was his name again? I forgot his name.
Rockwell. That was
Rockwell.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching me, and Mike was uncredited on that hook, which takes us to our next question and segment: the most important uncredited song ever. What is the most important uncredited contribution in music history? I ain't gonna lie, that Rockwell song is up there.
That might be
That man
that-
got Michael Jackson to sing his hook
And it was a hit.
uncredited. Of course.
The favors he had to
He got
pull.
because he grew up with Michael. He's buried Gordy's son.
Right.
You know, that's Michael's like probably like one of his good friends, obviously. He's saying like, Mike, can you say Mike just saying hug them down real quick? Uncredited. What other uncredited things do I know?
It's
Everyone knows that's Pharrell on the front of
um,
SWV. On the S
shit.
double,
I mean-
U double.
Eddie Van Halen's, sorry to bring it back to Michael Jackson, but Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo.
On Beat It. Yeah. Was he uncredited on that?
Yeah.
He was uncredited?
Wow.
Wow.
I think it has something to do with he couldn't take credit because probably something with the band, you know, like since he was in a band, like he probably wasn't allowed to like lend his name over to somebody else. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What's another uncredited? What's another great?
It's hard to find these because they're uncredited.
One of my favorite random ones is Thuggish Ruggish Bone, bro. That girl who sung her heart
Oh
out.
my God!
It's
Oh
the
my
Thuggish
goodness.
Ruggish Bone. That girl deserved.
The
Like,
chorus
them
on
type of-
LL Cool J. Oh, she sung her heart out on that.
Yeah.
The chorus on the
right.
Neptunes record. What was that LL record? That's my shit. And I think I looked it up online. I think he was a artist himself. That big LL record that the Neptunes did, man. This one, Love You Better. That record, this is for my smile today, cause I the best, no way. That brother wasn't credited at all on that, and he sang that chorus. I can love you better. Smoked that shit, and he wasn't credited on that. There's a lot, and there's a lot of
Man, I just
Tupac
looked it up. There's
songs.
some shit that I just didn't know just by Googling this. Did you know that Justin Timberlake sang the chorus of Where Is the Love on Black Eyed Peas?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
of course. Yeah, he's credited on
shit,
that
I
though. I
guess
think
I'm
he's
the
a
only one.
feature. Yeah, he's a feature on that. He's a feature on that.
I don't
You
know.
could tell, but you
I don't-
could tell Justin was on that.
But
What's
I mean, that's the
another
thing about having believable vocals in the background. It don't matter. Like, you don't even gotta be credited. Like, Michael ain't had to be credited. Justin ain't had to be credited. They just got them voices that are hits. You know, that's the $1 billion plug-in, yo. Like,
There's a lot of Tupac songs with random.
when
There's a
he
lot
was
of-
just
there's a
somebody
lot
in the
of-
studio.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncredited Tupac I mean, and they sang their ass off on them songs, and I can't. I'm trying to look. I looked up some. Mick Jagger sang on Carly Simon, "You're So Vain." Didn't know that. Um, yeah, there's a lot. I'm trying to think of some more hip hop ones. There was like, the crazy thing I was thinking about all them Biggie songs is Biggie had 112, Mary, Faith. They was all in the backgrounds on those songs. Even One More Chance. That's Faith
Yeah,
Evans. That's
it's
he incorporated so many of those legends. I mean, like, oh, even on Men in Black, that was I think that was Shorty from Escape on that, if
Escape.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
or Escape, or no,
Involved.
SWV,
Yeah.
who sang "We Are the Men in Black," and I
And
think
it's
she
like,
couldn't be credited because she was in the group, and she couldn't be credited on that record right there.
it's like so many. It's been so like Whitney's been on, like, you think about the Whitney times where she was like uncredited background vocals and so many
What's
overlooked
a good Whitney
contributors.
one? What was she uncredited on?
I gotta really look and Google that one, but I know she used to sing background a lot. That's how she kind of got her like start. And then it's like, you got these people who are creating like the emotional core of the song. They not getting no recognition, and they doing so much for the
I mean,
for the
think about those
song.
famous
Yeah,
drum
that was
breaks, too.
Coco. Coco from SWV. She sang that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Shout out to people like Coco. You know who I want to shout out to? Shout out to Lil Mo. Lil Mo sang so many timeless choruses in the 2000s. And
That
she
was a
got
great
that
duo.
one of her and Ja.
Her and Fabulous was such an amazing duo too, man.
Yeah,
It was like
her and Fab. And when she was on those Missy records, Hot Boy. Because Missy Elliott's like one of the greatest songwriters to ever live. And she,
ain't no
she
doubt
used
about
to,
that.
and Lil Mo was on a lot of those records. Mo's voice always just cut through. She has that beautiful, just that church voice that, what I mean? And it's just she cut through on all of those records she was on.
She been in Baltimore for a minute, so salute to her. She been,
Salute to,
in the
yeah.
city, song the city
Salute to
love.
Lil Mo.
Yes.
There was a lot of great. There's a lot of hip hop songs where we got a little, but there's a lot of uncredited shit out there, man. But
Of course.
for that, make sure y'all give people their credits and shit like that. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
it could
super. But sometimes I understand the mystique of it. I've been on a few records. I sang backgrounds on the 21 Pilots album. And I got my credit. I actually got background credits on that, but a lot of people don't know I sang backgrounds on that album. Shout out to Ricky Reed. Ricky pulled me in one day and was like, "Yo, you want to sing backgrounds on something?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll sing some backgrounds for 21 Pilots."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sometimes I understand the mystique of it though. I understand, like, I've been ad libs on many records. Many records I've done ad libs on.
I done left your ad libs in some records.
Yeah, I've left my ad libs on stuff, and sometimes I don't want the credit. I like the music mystique of that. Like, you find out later that, damn, that was Lunch on that record. Like, sometimes it is fun. I think people don't understand that because they're like,
Them little Easter eggs are so cool. Yeah, for
the
real.
little Easter eggs are so. I understand it for a new writer or a new producer. It's not fun because you're like, yo, I need to make money, and this is like how I promote myself. But I get it why people who have done things be like, you know what, I'll just do that. Like, I don't even care. Just don't even, I want people to find that, like, yo, was that you on it? Yeah, I did that. I was on that. You didn't even know I was there. I was in the building. You didn't even see me. I was over there standing by the bathroom. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was something. Well, we got what hit song worked that nobody can explain? Some records break every rule and still take over the world.
I could think of two. I could think of two that maybe I can think of three, and they're all kind of EDM related. So maybe I'm not the best person. I couldn't understand Gundam Style. I couldn't understand What Did the Fox Say, and I couldn't understand Let Me Take a Selfie. I couldn't understand none of them records, even though I kind of get it, but it's just like there was no rhyme or reason to why those songs should have been hits, but they just caught.
They all have the same element, though. The music stops and you hear a stupid phrase.
Yeah, it's
People
just like all the
fun.
the fun. It's the DNA of those serendipitous pop songs where every couple years we get a Macarena or a Gundam Style, or like those songs that are just very about the drop and the open Gundam Style and Let Me Take a Selfie. It's very momentary things that And look, I ain't gonna lie, those are like guilty pleasures. I love those type of like I'm into
That's what I'm saying.
novelty
Like,
songs. You know what I mean? Because they're copyrights. They just always, you know, you're only
and
gonna
like
make one of those
even
every. I
even
mean, Bills can be in that conversation. You know, like
but that made sense. It was like a good song that talked about something that
something.
everybody could relate to. But you
Yeah,
think about a record like Bauer Harlem Shake that just caught on because of a
100%,
dance, you know, and it's like, but
100%.
these are records you can't capture. Like they capture some type of feeling, social feeling, because that one just went viral because people started doing the dance. But it's like no spreadsheet can measure why these songs are hits, you know, like they're so
Other than
unpredictable.
when you were in the process of making it and you're like, I don't know how to put a finger on this, but there's something about it. We got to finish this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, definitely when I mean, they're one listens in a way though. When I heard Open Gangnam Style,
right.
you'll never forget a song that ridiculous. Even when you
Mm-hmm.
hear like you know the Bower
Who
or
let the
you
dogs
hear
out?
like
Like shit like
Who
that.
Let the Dogs Out, like
Yeah,
there's just these catchy elements to those phrases with the drop. The music is also catchy. The drops of those songs are, you know, are turned down for what, you know what I mean? Like you know they're just like you know those are big like those pop serendipity type of songs that just like I mean even when I look at Prince, uh When Doves Cry has no bass line. That was always a big one. It's no bass in that song. It's just
Really?
drums. Those chords is no bass in that song.
and
When the bump, 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 no bass lines, no low end in that song at all. And I've done that many of times where I'm like, yo, Prince ain't, that was always an excuse in the studio, man. Prince ain't put no bass line on When Doves Cry. Why we need a bass line? You
yeah,
know
of
what I mean?
course.
Like, there's a
So
lot of
original.
songs I listened to in the 90s, even in the 80s, that have no pre choruses. They go
Right.
straight from the verse into the hook, back into a verse, back into a, you know what I mean? The setup chorus wasn't a thing on everything. There's a lot of songs out there that have no pre chorus. I mean, I'm drawing a blank right now, but I've heard a lot of records where I'm like, yo, I mean, look at She's a Bad Man Majama. Look how long that intro is on that. It's like brum, brum,
True.
brum, 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 brum. Then the guitar
Yeah.
comes, and then he goes, yeah. He just starts ad libbing, and the song that we don't even get to the fucking I think he don't get to the top of the hook until like the song has a 20-minute intro. You know what I mean? Like where it's
But
like, you
it's a
know,
But it's cool.
but it's
it's a
cool
it's a
and
No one has a
it's a
problem with it.
feeling. It's a feeling.
it's
It's a
another
feeling.
song. It's a song that I will never understand. It didn't chart or nothing like that, but it literally had my nephews and all these people in the chokehold. I'm not talking about the I understand the K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm talking Baby Shark.
I mean,
You heard?
Baby Shark is one of the best melodies on earth.
Yeah.
Baby Shark, 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 da, da. That's where the repetition, repeating things, it just go into your mind. And I don't think, oh, look, right from what I'm looking right now, no, that's it. I think, does Billie Jean have a pre-chorus? We're looking up songs that don't have pre-choruses.
Would
Billie
y'all have
Jean was
understood?
born like a beaut.
That's a
Yeah,
pre-chorus.
that's a pre-chorus. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, Gemini, what are you talking about?
Would
No
y'all have understood
pre-choruses.
thongs? If somebody pitched thong song, would y'all have like okay,
I
or
would have learned that
would y'all
first listen, put it out
you would
immediately.
have known?
It was a 101, bro. Who sang a song about thongs before? Those are my
Yeah,
favorite songs. There's still not a song in history that talk. Dun, dun, dun. First of all, shout out to Cisco.
yeah,
You
Baltimore.
know, yeah, Baltimore legend. Cisco. Drew Hill is amazing, but Cisco's solo career is not spoken about
Shoot,
enough.
not
Because
enough.
Cisco was a fucking pop star. Everybody colored him. Cisco had the silver hair. He had the
Dragons
fucking
and
the
shit.
dragons and shit. Bro was a
Yeah,
superstar.
the
They didn't
style, the
I really
everything.
think he should have crossed over even more for the level of superstar shit he was bringing to the game with the
Yeah,
dancing, the colored hair, the dragon, the whole Asian and the Japanese, Chinese martial arts inspired
and
shit.
at the time when he was going against the great R&B at the time too.
Yeah,
Like
the
it
Ushers
was
and
a
all of
tough,
them were out at the
it was
same
a
time. And
tough time,
hey,
you
Usher,
know.
hey, remember him and Usher got in a beef for a little bit. It was like a little smoke. Remember Usher's on 106 in Park? He was like, chill out, little man. You know, they had their little smoke
Yeah, yeah,
because Cisco
yeah,
was on fire at one, bro. Cisco was cooking out here.
yes,
Bro, the Drew
yes.
Hill, when they did, man, Cisco was speaking Spanish in some of them songs. Man, he's like, I'll take a trip to Puerto Rico. That motherfucker said, he was like, didn't he say Ben Aki in one of them songs?
Yeah,
Like when he did,
living la vida
bro.
He loves he be throwing that
Living La
low.
Vida, bro was always throwing the light. He was international, man. Shout out to Cisco, man. They ain't really give you your flowers
Yeah,
like they should have, because you really made us brave
absolutely.
out here. Cisco didn't care. They was making fun of him, saying he was this, he was that. He didn't give a fuck. Cisco was
Not
outside
at
with it.
all.
Give a round of applause for Cisco, man. Let's give a
Oh
round of
yeah, he
applause
get a
for Cisco,
Baltimore round.
please. Yeah, give me a round of applause.
Oh, you get that.
Um, let's go into something else. What do we got in here? What's a good one? What's a good one? What's a good one? Shout out to Mike, J Mike comes up with a lot of the topics we talk about on the show.
If
Mike is
not
the
for
one who
him,
comes up with the
just
segments.
grind
Let's
to a
give
halt.
a round of applause to yourself, Mike. Actually,
Let's do it.
Please.
I'll take it. I'll
segments
take
that
it.
you-
Extra
Pat on the
loud,
back. I'll
extra
take it.
loud.
Let's go.
Yeah, extra for that.
Distorted
Um,
applause.
As you guys know, well, you don't know. If you don't know, now you know. Us three amigos, we are big gamers in here. A lot of our time, before COVID, but during COVID and after, we've spent a lot of our time playing video games together. We're all gamers. Shout out to our COD people. Shout out to our 2K
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Shout out to our gaming chat, all our gaming homies. Shout out to Dre Moon. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Alabama, our COD
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Shout
Mm-hmm.
out. Yeah, we'll shout Drew out. We'll shout out. Who else?
Please.
Who else?
You know,
Pliz.
Please.
we got
We'll shout out
Dante in
even
that
our other
chat.
homies, Dante. We'll shout out
Yeah,
the
everybody in
Johnnies,
that-
the Rods, all our gaming chat homies that we play 2K with. You know, all of those guys. There's somebody else I want to mention, but I ain't giving him no clout because he been talking crazy about Mikey in the 2K chat. But we ain't gonna give him no love. You know what I'm saying? Because I know this will make his
Oh,
day.
no,
He probably
no,
clip this.
Exactly.
Yeah, we ain't gonna. Yeah, you know who you are though. You little
Enjoy
loser.
yourself.
Nah, it's just enjoy yourself. But video games are the new golf course. Did video games become the modern day? Well, did video games become the modern day golf course for musicians? I think so. I've met a lot of great creatives through game chats. I've gained a lot of great. Shout out to Irv. We'll shout Irv out. Shout out to our boy Irv. We've created a lot of great relationships with friends from all over the place. Shout out to Jay Wilk too. Shout out to Jay Wilk out. Jay Wilk's a dope artist from Kentucky, from Louisville. He's a homie
Which is the power of being in that networking space.
playing in our network. I mean, Wilk is the exact. You know, we gonna give. I mean, Wilk. Shout out to Jay Wilk. You want to tell? I mean, Wilk got in our chat, right?
Yep. Got in our chat.
Through Phil.
We all got cool
No,
because
Drew, I think, right?
through Drew, yeah.
Through Drew. Shout out to Drew.
Drew just like put his email or something out.
He put his email.
And was like, send me songs or you know whatever. He was just reaching out to artists.
Yeah, and he came in our chat, and through that, this is a good story because he's super talented, but you know, been working and stuff like that.
Yep. And he came in there. He was good at the game. That's number one. He was good at the game, so he made us look good when we was playing 2K.
He was a phenomenal 2K player, and through that, he got with us. You know, got a lot of information. And met people like, you know, Drew and different people who were working in the business, and he landed himself a publishing deal through the chat. I don't even think
the power.
I know Wilk was cool with Bryson and them team. He worked with them and stuff like that, but he didn't have a lot, like, you know, enough to get it, but just through the chat, you know,
a different piece. Yeah. So like that's I think the power of video games these days, where you build these bonds with people. Like we talk every day, like we talking to these people every single day on these headsets and stuff like that. And it's like back in the day, golf courses was like a place where you had to have all this money, and that's where elite folks was at, and it was like expensive, and you had to have gear. All you need is a headset and some Wi-Fi, and you can play. And then especially like how you mentioned COVID, PSN and or whatever you was playing the game at was the club, was the local pub. It was everything. You looking at one chat and you seeing like Quavo, you seeing all these artists, all these producers. It was so many different rooms going on. And then like, even like you'll see like Gilbert Arenas in one room. You're looking at all these different chats, and it's like, yo, it's like a powerful networking community if people know how to like, you know, use it right. Cause that's where all the artists, songwriters, and producers were.
You spend enough time with somebody, you're on the chat with them, like after a couple games, you know, a couple series, whatever, eventually you're just like, yo, what are you working on? It always somehow guides itself into work because it's just naturally, you know, you're hanging out with people, you're comfortable with them, whatever. But
100%.
bro, I've met a lot of people and kept in touch with them entirely through Call of Duty. And now I see Call of Duty as, or any sort of gaming as, it's like learning how to play golf. It's a skill you whether you're passionate about it or not, it's just something you need to be able to do so you can hang out with other people. I think it's worth.
Shout out to Tomb. Shout out to Tomb.
Shout out to Tomb.
Shout out to the Tomb, man. The Tomb is
But no, it's important because that's one of the things I bring up in almost every session when we start bullshitting off to the side. I'm like, yo, does anybody play games? What do you play? You find out their gamer tag, and then we end up spending time with each other, which is
right.
It always leads to work.
Just
No,
being
100%.
around.
I mean, Wilk is a
Ungrateful.
success story. Wilk is a success story. You know, Wilk came from, you know, meeting us over there and landed himself
I
a
was
publishing deal with Post, man.
pulled up during COVID, and yeah, for sure. And we talk every day to all of our gaming friends and our gaming community, and a lot of us are producers and songwriters and artists, and it's just like another place to kind of just, you need them places as also as stressful as the business can be to just breathe.
Realize how much you need to talk to other people, and like
Yes.
we're dudes. Like, yeah, I love you guys, but I don't ever call you on the phone just to chit chat.
No,
Like, that's just
we would
like,
never.
we don't have that kind of relationship. So that's the place where you kick it. That's the the
Yes.
the sauna. It is what it
Mhm.
is. But we all kind of log on at the same time because we're all in the studio all fucking day. So
And that
it's
space
just
is
a
needed.
nice stress reliever.
It's
Nah, man,
needed
it's
for
a
us to talk shop for
it's a
sure.
wind down, light a spliff, turn on 2K, hit
some
you know,
throws,
as
get some
in
threes,
Bluke's case,
get some
turn
dubs.
on the fucking Bluke smokes the fucking
The volcano.
you still on the volcano?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bluke lights the volcano, and we just go, you know, be on pod, just really just smacking shit. Just really just wetting people up for a couple hours. Shout to Killer Kiki. Killer
Mhm.
Kiki is a very violent, COD player who you hopefully know that she's on your team. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
Probably the most reliable Call of Duty player we've ever come
No,
across.
100%. She on your
yeah.
team. We killing shit. Shout out to Zeke too. Zeke is a killer. Um, but yeah, I think video games is a good networking tool for young musicians. If you get on there, I mean, shout out to my brother Corday. I think when he was in YBN Corday, they all met each other
Oh
through the
yeah.
game and started a group and changed all their lives through that. And you know, a lot of, like we mentioned, a lot of our friends whose lives changed through meeting all of us through meeting people through the chat. So give a round of
And now you
applause
got
for PlayStation, man.
because you got what's the rapper from Detroit who's making First Day Out. What's his name again? First Day Out.
T Grizzly.
You got people like him now and people like T
Oh man.
making
Wait till GTA 6 drops.
with these servers monetizing it. So it turned into a whole nother industry with Discord and
Creating
stuff
their own discords and shit. Yeah.
where you can like rap and you got your own studio. So it's just like the gaming community is insane these days.
If you're watching this right now, we are gonna start an Audio Amigos Discord for our gamers out there who could
Yes.
join us.
Yes.
You could join us on COD. We're mostly COD and 2K players. We got some Apex homies in different games here and there, but we're
The
mostly
occasional
COD.
Fortnite.
Yeah, we're Fortnite, and then occasionally, but mainly 2K and COD.
Yeah.
And you could join us and play
Y'all are
with your
welcome.
amigos.
Welcome to play with
Yeah,
us.
welcome to get your ass kicked.
No bums, no liabilities, only assets.
Exactly.
Only people can
We're
actually.
gonna
fucking
hold
play.
tryouts.
Yes, and you might be better than us. We're talking shit, but for the most part, yeah, we'll kill your ass. Yeah, let's we got like, you know, one or two more segments, and then we'll get into like, you know, these questionnaires. You know, we also have to do our Amigo of the week. This looks like a good one. Let's see. We got nostalgia versus innovation. Has nostalgia become stronger than innovation? We see a lot of things going on with, if we look at the global Spotify right now, we got Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj, Beauty and the Beast leading the way. We have so many songs in the top 20 and top 30, even the songs on Billboard. I mean, we have a lot of catalog going on. I think also a lot of these companies that have bought a lot of these catalogs are working them. And but for the most part, I think, you know, nostalgia is big in our day and age, you know, even in fashion and music and everything. Nostalgia is always going to be big. People like to live in the past, and music is a very reflective, you know, art form where people hear it and it takes them back to when they got married or when they were children, or,
Yeah,
you know,
it brings them
so
through a time.
brings them through a time. And usually that's why I'm just speaking, you know, giving my opinion
Yeah.
first. That's why I'm a big fan actually of like sampling and being inspired by other things in your own way, because the DNA of those songs, adding it into, I'll use it as like a Kalani, like folded. Like when I hear folded, shout to Don Mills, shout to Andre Harris, shout to Chris Riddick. He's from
DK.
Baltimore. He's from
DK from
DK,
yeah, Punisher.
DK and Chris. They both from
I don't know
Baltimore,
what
aren't they?
I
Yeah,
know
because
DK
his
is. I'm
name
not
is
sure what
Now because Makiba, he's Makiba's cousin, and Makiba's from Baltimore. So shout out to Makiba, shout out to my sis
Hey,
Makiba,
yes.
legendary songwriter, vocal producer.
Oh,
But
wow.
when I hear Folded, it gives me that R&B standard feeling of the R&B records that I loved, and it's not like it sounds like anything else, but the DNA in the song gives you not like like where it sounds like like, oh, it's from the 90s. Nah, it just gives you the DNA of a great song and a song that you love that hits you with a feeling that you
Yeah.
felt before. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And to me, that's why there's only 12 notes. You know what I mean? There's only 12 notes.
Yeah.
I was with my good friend, shout to the big homie Shaggy the other day, and we were talking about music. Shout to my brother Rob Banks. We was talking about music, and he was like, bro, a lot of us like to claim things, whether it's reggae, whether it's hip hop, it's soul, it's this and where it come. Look, do re mi fa sol la ti do, bro. You know what I mean? Like there's so much shit that we could come up with 12 notes and these things. So we have to reach back, in my opinion, and not only sample but put the feeling, you know what I mean, that felt like the records we loved. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion about that.
No, I definitely feel that. And that's like one of the things I kind of always, as a producer, wrestle with. It was like, I never wanted to sound like anybody else, but I always wanted to appreciate the history of music and kind of show, because I came up in a jazz house, I came up in a gospel house, and I always tried to be like the innovator. So I would try to take them chords, and I didn't want to be carbon copy. I try to take them chords and put a crazy sound on them. Or we might go to the gospel progression, but I'm adding like a sound that no one's ever heard before, because I think it's like also something crazy about making carbon clones, of these type of records and stuff like that, opposed to trying to raise the bar, like, like what a Timbo did. Because, one of Timbo's favorite producers was Quincy, but he took like what, and then, he was around that Devontae Swing Camp, and he was taking that old R&B sound with new drum patterns and stuff like that we ever heard. So I always try to like figure out a way to innovate and give that nostalgia feeling, but not like, carbon copy.
Yeah, for sure.
I could definitely make type, old Joe to see type beats, but like all that stuff has been done, so I really try to like do that, but figure out some stuff that in 2026, what does that look like? In 20, what does it look like now that we didn't, where we at? And it's like, because it's like that are we preserving heritage, or we avoiding risk? Because I feel like sometimes like nostalgia can be almost predictable, almost predictable in certain ways, to where like I try not to be like trapped in memory when I make certain beats, because it's like
100%.
because like we got,
It's easy to make type beats. It's easy to sit there and
exactly,
make beats that sound like
but
beats
it
that
works
people have
because
liked
it's
before.
easy to make a Spider-Man. You heard about the new Spider? It's a new Spider-Man every week, so it's like it works. Like these type of things work, especially in corporations. They gonna like the companies, they gonna say, oh yeah, this sounds like something that worked before.
But you can always put your own touch. I
Of
think it's
course,
important to put your own touch
that's the
on. You
big
could
thing.
reach back, but you gotta, incorporate your own
Something I
touch.
thought about the other day was like, there's a difference between how you think you remember something. So say like you're thinking you're working on something, whatever, and you're like, oh shit, this kind of reminds me of XYZ song, whatever. But then if you go back and actually listen to that song, it kind of fucks up that feeling of your own interpretation of it, because you just refreshed your own memory on what it actually sounded like. And I think it's kind of, this is something I picked up on, to stop during sessions opening up Spotify and listening to what people are thinking this sounds like. And it's actually better to just go off of what you think you thought it sounded like, because that is for sure not going to be an exact copy, because you probably remembered it wrong, but it's going to be your version of that copy, which then is something really new. But when you go back and actually listen to the reference of like whatever old shit, you'll end up kind of falling out in love with it, because now you really hear that you're copying somebody else, and it's not that cool anymore.
Nah.
I've
And
been
you can't fool the people,
Yeah.
and it just feels like you not putting your own innovative touch on things. You know what I mean? So I think
then even like older me was a liar. Like I was like I didn't know nothing about music production, so it'd be certain songs I like. It'd be certain movies I like. Like I thought Ghost Dad was a classic when I grew up, and then I went and watched it as an adult. And I was like, "Yo, this movie is awful."
Movies, God, no, there's nothing worse than watching the movies that look.
It's
Yo,
like,
I watched a
yo,
couple Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. As like when you watch like I don't know what is it, Super Cop or like, I mean, Bloodsport is a classic, but there's a lot of bad film
Still,
that when I
I
was
like my memory of what Bloodsport was. I don't need to go back and watch it.
nah,
'Cause
when
I'm
you
gonna
watch
remember.
Bloodsport now, it's still legend, but the acting was so bad. Like
Yeah.
it was so much. Even when you watch like, I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer the other day for no reason, and the fucking acting was atrocious. Not, I mean,
yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt was beautiful, and we all love Jennifer Love Hewitt, but the acting was like, it was like,
Some stuff didn't
why
age
would you
like you
go
thought
over
in your
there?
brain. Yeah.
And it's like, bro, this is some terrible shit going on. Terrible shit.
I've been there.
Nah, we've all been there. But we're doing a segment. We have a new segment of part of our show. It's called, Choose Your Amigo. And we're gonna name some producers and people that we like, and we're gonna choose out of them. I got like 10 or so or something like that. And I'm gonna name, for each of y'all. We got hip hop producers, we got R&B, different categories. And I want y'all to tell me which one out of these two is there's no shade, just who fits your person, your style of music, or who inspired you the most. For Mikey, I'll start with you. Dr. Dre or DJ Premier, pick your amigo.
Oh God, I'm going Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre, okay. Why?
Just because what he did for West Coast music is undeniable, and like the way he brought like P Funk and that whole sound, it's and he so many different generations and genres. So he's give me the Doctor.
Doctor. So Mikey got Dr. Dre. Give it a round of applause for Dr. Dre.
Oh yeah, he gets a round of applause.
Blue, we got for Blukey, we got give me pick your amigo, Rick Rubin or Butch Vig.
Oof. I mean, I'm gonna have to go Rick Rubin just because of his span of genres.
Rick.
That's Butch Vig. I mean, he had a moment in time that was incredible in the '90s with the alternative sound and everything. But Rick's still working.
We're gonna go Rick. Let's give a round of applause for Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin.
That's an easy one.
Okay, I got a good zinger. We got pick your amigo, Babyface or Teddy Riley. Mikey.
Who's got to pick that? Oh no! Oh man! Oh God! I mean, this is
you can do amigo, and if you want to choose both, you can say it's a no go. I'm doing both. You know what I mean? So,
it's a safe draw. I cannot choose.
You doing no go?
I'm doing no go, bro. I cannot choose.
Okay.
Yeah. I can talk for hours.
If you had to pick one, that was closer, that influenced you personally, it's no shade to both of them are legends. They both inspired us so much, but
if you had to pick one to do a session with, who are you gonna pick? And you can only pick one.
I'm picking Teddy Riley because what he did for DMV Music in Virginia and Pharrell and all that stuff. And I met him before, and just I'm going to producer for the Sonics and talking his head off about how he made certain beats and records. And it'd be, but oh God, Babyface. But it'd be Teddy. It'd be Teddy for me. Yep.
Okay, Teddy.
Round of applause.
Round of applause for
Teddy.
As each one more. I'm gonna go with Mike. I'm gonna go Lex Luger or Metro Boomin. Pick your amigo.
See, this ain't because Lex is from Virginia, so this ain't as easy as people think for me. Lex started that whole the distorted 808 that changed the sound of drill music. Oh, but Metro is too consistent.
Give me Metro. Give a round of applause to Metro.
Yeah. But it was tough. Man.
Why did you go Metro?
I went Metro just because of his solo projects had #1 records. His last album had like that, and so many big records from his solo effort. So
consistency. Tro been really dropping shit. He's had pop hits, R&B, rap. He's like, Tro's put his own albums together.
Soundtracks and stuff.
Tro's an amazing producer, man. I think he doesn't get as much credit as he should get as a producer. He's took from where he started, doing a lot of trap shit and all that to elevate in his sound. You know what I mean? Like the last project with him and Pluto was really good. Like that was really good. The sonic of it, everything. Like, yeah, give a round of applause for Metro.
He's the
again,
number
man.
one producer in urban music right now.
No,
So
100%, 100%.
yeah,
And yeah, 100%. Number one producer in black music, 100%. And I think it's even vaster beyond black music at this point.
for sure.
But yeah, round of applause. I like our
That's the
that's the
question
first
right
time we've
there.
ever done that. Yes, we've done, that's the
My
first
brain hurt.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a real one. You know, we gotta pick our amigos, and that's the first time we did that. But we gonna bring that back because it's fun. So as we come to a close, we have to do one of our favorite segments where we give our flowers and show our love to people that aren't talked about enough, or they're talked about a lot and they need to be talked about more. So our amigo of the week, can I get a drum roll, please? Our amigo of the week is our dear brother Kane Beats. Kane Beats. I'm gonna let Mikey, who is a frequent collaborator of Kane Beats, I'm gonna let him take the wheel, man.
So shout out Kane Beats. Kane Beats is the producer that discovered me when I was 18 years old, sending him beats. I found him. I used to just spam him beats all the time on SoundClick. I found him on SoundClick. He used to be one of the top producers on SoundClick, but he turned that whole thing into making countless hits. He was like one of the founding fathers of the Cash Money sound, the whole female rap sound. He did like Bedrock. He did Steady Mobbin'. He did Bottoms Up. He did Right Above It. He did The Show Goes On. And was like one of the early.
Y'all did Super Bass together?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jesus, we did Super Bass together. And he was one of the early collaborators with Young Money. You know, so he used to be so cool with Nicki, and he brought me into that Nicki world. And he was so cool with Wayne. And it's just like countless records. And he's also from Orlando, Florida, like our amigo of last week.
I'm from Dade County, Florida, but Kane is a Florida representative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so shout
like
to Kane.
I think him and Kevin from like the same area. So it's just so crazy how much talent is coming from Florida. But yeah, he's definitely the amigo of the week, man. We
amigo
definitely
of the week, man. Clap it up for Kane. Kane Beats. You man, I leased a beat from Kane on SoundClick 100 years ago, but we used to all be on SoundClick. Shout to Kane Beats, Johnny Julia. I used to all. They were very.
He had that
they were. Oh man, they were first on the internet beat leasing, beat selling vibe early. You said you gave them shot. Didn't you give them what'd you say you gave them?
So like early on when I first sent Kane my beats, it was just like he's like, yo, these are crazy, like because he said he was looking for samples, so I sent him like an email of all my beats, and then he's like, yo, these are crazy. So I was like, yeah, just this plugin called Silent. So I sent him Silent, and that same like week he made Bedrock. He just used like the first three sounds. Steady Mobbin' is the first sound on Silent, and he used that, and then that's how Steady Mobbin' came. And then the second sound was like Piscato, all bank one from Silent, and he made all those hit records just from like a new plugin. And you know, it's just crazy like how talented he is. I learned so much like invaluable information from Kane. He's so knowledgeable. He's so like smart, and he had his sound is like, it's a beauty to it. It's a triumph to it. It's a street element to it. And it's just like a type of beat that people are trying to recreate nowadays. I'm seeing a lot of Kane type beats go around, and even people asking for like that old Nicki, that old Cash Money sound, those like late kind of like 2008, 9, 10 beat. That was his universe. And like he started a lot of that. So salute to Kane.
Shout out to Kane Beats. Y'all are very instrumental in that Cash Money sound. Kane knew how to make tracks that were, his music was so big and the drums was so street, so it just encompassed so many genres. It was like rhythmic. It was black music, but it was rhythmic and it could cross over. That's what I think was so dope about Kane. He knew how to make triumphant, great chords with clean drums. And I think even when y'all did Super Bass, that was like a key with the Baltimore club vibe, with your vibe, and then Kane's just ability to just the chords and like this everything y'all.
Yeah, the chord progression on Super Bass and Bedrock are both. Those chord progressions are amazing.
I mean, Bedrock is a staple
so,
Young Money record.
So catchy. That
so
made
catchy.
a label. That's
Even
a label
Steady
maker.
Mobbin'.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's
Right Above It. Yeah, all of them records are so crazy. And Show Goes On. I mean, Bottoms Up. Kane's a hit maker.
Yeah,
he's a hit maker.
And at the
that
time,
made records that crossed over.
Right. He was the king of those crossover big radio records. And like at the time when I was making beats with him, when I used to get those beats back, man, I used to just listen to him all day. Like it was the most amazing. The first record we ever did, and it charted. It was this record called Reverse Cowgirl, and that was when I was like 18. T-Pain,
classic T-Pain
yeah,
joint, classic.
When I was 18, it hit the Hot 100. You know, and that was all because of him. It was just a beat I sent him in an email, and like and when I got that beat back, it was like the first time an industry producer ever. It was Christmas Day, and I feel that every time, even when we still make beats, it's like Christmas Day when he come back and send you that bounce, man. It's all good,
Me and my brother Kane have had it. That's out to my brother Kane. We're gonna keep it all the way 100 on here. But that's my brother, right? I met Bruno Mars because of Kane too. I'm not gonna lie. That's a beautiful story. We was working on Pink Print. We was working on Pink Print at where we was at Glenwood.
Yeah.
We was at Glenwood working on Pink Print, and if anybody know Kane, Kane is the ultimate hustler. Kane, if you're not gonna promote yourself, Kane is going to promote you. And that's when I knew Kane was just a great.
He know how to talk and get and move around. Yes,
me and Kane together. That Kane is a solid. He's just solid like that. And I wasn't even out there. We working on, our big sis Nick. We in there working on the Pink Print, and Kane went out there. He's smoking, and Bruno's working on. I think they're working on 24 Karat across from us that whole time too. Shout out to Font Leroy. Everybody was there. Brody, my name Brody, everybody. And Kane, man, he like Bruno out there, man. And he go out there and he tell Bruno, like, yo, I'm working with Lunch Money and my boy JMIKE Lunch Money. And Bruno's like, LunchMoney Lewis? And I remember hearing my name yelled from like the lounge or like the outside area. He like Lunch Money. And I come outside and I'm thinking Kane just out there. It's Bruno out there with a cigarette. Like
Bruno was like, Lunchbox.
He like Lunchbox. He calling me Lunchbox. I'm like, bro, I ain't give a fuck. It's Bruno. I'm a big fan and he's super dope. So I ain't care. You calling me Lunchbox. He was like, man, he's like, I got Bill. He started singing Bills back to me. He knew about my songs, Mama, a lot of my music. He was like, man, you trying to spill my spot, Flash? He kept saying that, the 5 Heartbeats. Cause at the time, I was in a very fun soul pop arena that he was in, but he, singing Bills back, but all cause of Kane. I met Bruno because he promoted. I wasn't even out there, and Kane promoted me. And we met Andre 3000. Andre was there. We in the other room just vibing, just like it was a legendary day at Glenwood. Yeah, but shout out to my brother Kane. I met Bruno because of Kane.
Kane got his email and all that. Like he just was on it, man.
Kane gonna hustle. Kane is the exact example of Denzel when he said he lost that award and he left. He said, "I'm leaving with something." If Kane in the building, there's people around there, he leaving with something. Something gonna happen. We getting some. Kane is in the building, nigga, 100%. Yes. But shout out to Kane. He's our amigo of the week. Let's give him another round of applause. We like to represent our friends and represent people who deserve their flowers. But yeah, this is episode 4, man. This is a good one. It's a good one. Shout out to my brothers Bolooki. Shout out to JMIKE. Follow all of their respective social medias. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We appreciate everybody who's been tuning in. We're fairly new, but we're having a good time. If anybody wants to send us free plugins, keyboards, Apollos, speakers, anything,
bag of cash, whatever. Just
a bag of cash attached to it. We take anything. But yes, this is Audio Amigos, episode 4. Peace and love.